Good afternoon and welcome back to Knowledge Corner. Today we're going to be talking about goal setting. I first wanted to start out by thanking everyone that has liked, subscribed, shared, viewed any of the videos that are currently on the Knowledge Corner YouTube channel. Please continue to do so. Leave your comments and I will answer them. Every comment that's left, I will respond to. I wanted to also advise that I have received the emails that have been coming to the email account that I initially put up, and I want to thank you all for emailing me your questions. That's great, and I'm going to give you feedback on those on a future episode on the channel that will be coming really soon. However, I want to let you all know that I have uploaded a new email, and you can start sending any questions that you may have to that email address. It is strictly for the Knowledge Corner channel. And so that email is knowledgecorner3@gmail.com. Again, that's knowledgecorner3@gmail.com. It's also in the about the link in this video. I'll make sure that it is available. But I have received your questions. Those of you, it just went to the spam folder of the envelope of the in that email. So I didn't see them right off, but I have received them, and I am compiling a list, and I will be answering all of them in a future episode. Okay, so let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about setting goals, and this is important. When I initially started this channel, I know I've gone through a variety of topics since starting, but my purpose of initially starting this channel was to assist individuals that were in between completed high school, was trying to complete high school and wanted to move on to something else, found themselves in a empty or a thankless job, or just doing something that they didn't want to do, and they wanted to move to the next. A big part of being able to move on to whatever's next for you is being able to set goals, and then it's like goals and objectives. You set your goals, and then you set the objectives, and the objectives, are the steps that you will take to achieve your goals. Okay, so like I've said previously, this journey that we are going through is our life, and we each have our own journey to take to reach the goals that we're trying to make. And it's not going to be your goals and your journey. It's not going to be the same as your best friend, as your sister, as your brother, as your aunt, as your uncle. But there are people that have been through things in their life that can advise you, that can be a positive influence on you. So what I'm gonna do with this video, this episode, is throughout my journey, I've devised, or I have come up with seven steps that you can follow to achieve your goals. So I'm going to be going over those here today. And like I said, it's a video, so you could come back to it and listen to it again and again, over and over. Like and share, tell a friend. But here we go. We're going to start out with number one, and number one is making the decision of what your goal is going to be. You have to pinpoint down what you want to do. If that is that you want to return to school, you want to start school, okay, that's the goal. That's what you want to do. You want to return to school. Okay. The next thing you want to do once you make that decision is you want to write down what your decision is, because a lot of times you need to see it to be able, and you need to see it all the time. So you write it down in your journal, and you write it down and you put it up. You might put it up on the mirror in your room, your bathroom mirror. Put a little sticky note up there, and you want to write it down. So if your decision, which is number one in the checklist, if your decision is to return to school, then you write that down on a piece of paper. Step number two, you've completed 2 steps. Step number 3 is tell someone. Tell someone what your plan is. Tell someone what you want to do. This can be tricky because you have to be careful who you share your dreams with, who you share your plans with, who you share. And this step right here could be the most important, because you want to tell to me, and like I said, this is a checklist that I've come up with that has worked for me. But for me, on this step, I want to tell someone that I know is going to be not necessarily placate to me or just give me the pat on the back, but also if it's criticism, it's constructive criticism. Okay? And I say that because you could tell somebody what you got planned, and they don't have the ability to receive it because they got their own stuff going on, or they don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say this, because sometimes telling someone, you tell the closest person to you, and that could be a family member, that could be, and they have other things going on in their life that can prevent them from being able to give you the kind of feedback that you may need. And you want to be careful with that, because right at this point, you're making this decision, you're at a crossroads, and you want you want feedback, you want positive feedback, and you want to get it from somebody that like I said earlier, is not just going to cater to you or cater to what you're doing. But if, for example, I started and stopped college several times. I would take a break and I would work, and then all of a sudden I'd feel like, okay, I need to go back, get my degree. And I would start school, and I would tell someone, and it was constructive criticism, but it was what I needed to hear, because I had started and stopped several times. And I remember one time I told my dad, I said, Daddy, I think I'm going to go back to school, and I think I'm going to major in whatever it was at that time I decided I was going to major in. And he said to me that time, he said, you got to stay focused. You got to stay focused, and you have to determine if this is what you really want to do. If school's not for you, then find something else that is for you. But in the back of my mind, I knew school was for me. But at the time, at the previous times in my life when I went back to school, I was still out partying. I was partying, and partying became more important than school. Having a good time was more important than school. I had that part of me had gone past. So I knew that it was going to be different this time around. And I had started working for the state of Georgia, and they had a program that, they would pay for 6 hours of school. It's called TAP. It is currently still in existence, and they'll pay for 6 to 9 hours of school. I can't remember, and it helped me focus on what I needed to do. So I say that to say this, some people may have taken his words as criticism of them going back, but I understood where he was coming from, because he knew my history with it. He knew that I had started and stopped several times previous, and it was time for me to hunker down and finish what I wanted to do. And so, that being said, what I don't want you to do is tell someone and totally get turned around or discouraged about what you might hear their response being. If you know that this is what you want to do, you tell somebody, and you get feedback. Tell somebody, get the feedback that you need to continue to do what you're doing, to move on in your process. Okay, so we have the decision. We've written it down. We've told someone, we've confided in someone what we want to do. Now it's time to break your goals down. And when I say break your goals down, it's like what I talked about as far as the objectives. Okay, so take the example of going back to school. Okay, the decision was to go back to school. I've written it down. I've told someone. Now I need to write down how I'm going to reach this goal. And that would be check in to see decide which school I'm going to. If it's a school that you're returning to, check to see your admission status. Check in on financial aid to see what your financial aid status is. Reach out to your a advisor in your area of study to see what your curriculum could potentially be as far as what classes you're taking, what classes you will need. So those three things are objectives that will help you reach your goal of returning to school. Fifth is plan your first step. Your first step is as simple as this: picking up the phone and calling the financial aid office and saying, my name is such and such. I was a student there. I want to return and finding out what you need to do. Nowadays, it's as simple as an email. They have grad students that'll respond to emails and advise you that way. A lot of times you can go to their websites and they have the bot that'll come up like an assistant, and you can type in simple. It's really just that simple. So it's not hard, but if you got to take that first step. You got to take that first step. And 6 is keep going. It's going to get frustrated because you might not get a reply to an email. You might not get a response on the phone. You might have to take a trip and just go to a financial aid office, go to the admissions office, go on the campus itself and see what you need to do to get back in school. It's your journey. You have to take the steps to do it, and it can get discouraging, but just stay the course and you can achieve what you're setting out to do, because it's up to you to make it happen. You have to put in the work for whatever that may be to make it happen. So just keep going. Stay the course. Stay the course. And number 7 is celebrate. Celebrate that you have reached your goal. You've gotten you've gotten your acceptance letter, your readmittance letter. You know what type of financial aid you're going to need. You have done the work. So celebrate yourself. Celebrate the people that assisted you. Send them an email thanking them. Give a phone call thanking them for the help that they assisted you with. Don't forget the people that helped you along the way, because you never know when you will have to see those folks again. And that's the seven step checklist. The first is decide on the goal. Number 2 is write it down. Number 3 is tell someone. Number 4 is break down the goal in steps, so you'll know what to do. Set your plan, set your objectives to achieve your goal. 6 is keep going. 5 is plan your first step. What are you going to do first to accomplish your goal? 6 is keep going, even when you're frustrated and things get difficult. 7 is celebrate once you accomplish a goal. Thank the people that helped you along the way. And then whatever it is that the goal that you've achieved, pursue it and finish it out. Stay focused. Stay the course, because because once you get it, it's not going to stop being difficult. So just take your time. Reach out for the resources that are available to you, and just keep going. And that is the goal setting, steps in goal setting that I've gone through, that I've used, that have worked for me. And before we get out of here, I want to do the College Minute today. We're going to be talking about Clark Atlanta University. And Clark Atlanta University was formed in 1988. And it was a consolidation between Atlanta University and Clark College. Both schools hold